Hi. This is nice. I'm down in St Leonard's on Sea at an Airbnb, and it's beautiful, and it has this downpipe grey bedroom, but that's not why I've come on. I want to talk to you about something I've just been writing about, which is how women have to be listened to, how we have to be heard, how we must be recognised as understanding our bodies and knowing in our bodies what's happening, and not to have that mansplained away. Okay, what do I mean by that? Well, if you have a woman who is struggling post-birth and she's got lots of symptoms and she's mentally unwell and she's spiralling down and down, why don't we ask her what she thinks the problem is? Well, that didn't happen for my mate Rachel, and I'm just writing about her now and her experience, where she was so desperate for help and so uneasy and so traumatised by what had happened when she gave birth to her son. Nobody listened to her, and weeks went by, and she still had placenta in her womb. And because of that, that was poisoning, slowly toxifying her system and sending her loopy, making her psychotic, and they threatened to section her under the Mental Health Act rather than actually listen to her. And it's not like a lone incident. And I know that her husband would say if he ever met the consultant who was in charge of the mental health, the one that said, you know, she's doolally, where she wasn't, she needed to be listened to and she needed help. Her husband says, you know, if he ever met him, he wouldn't be able to hold back. He would have to physically get the message across. And that got me to thinking about the next thing, about this disconnect between our experience as a woman and when we have interactions with medical caregivers. So if we have interactions with a doctor, a nurse, or even a dentist or an optician or anybody who is external to us and working on our body, we have to give that person our permission to do so, and we need to check with them. We need to check with them, what is it that they're doing, why, and to run that why past our internal bullshit-ometer, okay? So that we can be sure that we've made the best decision that we can, okay? And some people might say, yeah, but in labour, you know, there isn't time. I beg to differ. I think there is. I think actually category 1 emergency sections, get the baby out in the next 5 minutes, or we're losing a mum and a baby. I think those are really rare, thank God, you know, and thank goodness that we have obstetricians who can deal with that. But those are rare. The sections, the birth rate, where a third of our babies are born via belly birth, tends to be more about the rushing of birth. And if we're connected to our experience and it's honoured, and the men and the women who care for us are deeply respectful of us, and they understand where we're coming from, what it is that we want to say, and we're heard and we're listened to, the outcomes are different, because women feel respected, they notice that they've been heard. That matters so much to me. I hate being mansplained. I hate someone telling me what they think it is that I'm feeling, or what I saw, or how I felt it. How can you possibly know that? me. You need to ask me questions. Then I can give you some information and you can have some data to work with. So the connection and the disconnect in labour, we've got to start talking about sexuality and our vaginas, our cunts, our power, our vulvas, our bums, poo, blood, all of these things. Because it's all normal. There's nothing sinful about it. It's all part of the process. There's nothing dirty, nothing sordid, nothing that needs cleansing. You know? Babies don't need to be washed immediately that they're born. Not dirty, then it needs to be cleansed of their original sin, taken from the impure, sinful woman, immediately placed into a man's hands. They need to be placed into your hands, the mother's hands, to hold against your beautiful body that birthed and created this child. And your beautiful body has a vagina, at the top of which is that tree of life, the womb. The only way we can get here on this planet is to come through that, through the womb, out of the womb. And so I'm just pausing for thought because I have a deep reverence for it, for my womb. I've grown 3 people. I'm immensely proud of that. It's my greatest accomplishment and achievement. They're not mine. I just birthed them, you know, they've got their own lives to lead. And I'm working on my pelvic floor. I have had 2 babies at 40 and it's done a little bit of damage, but don't worry, because there's always the dark and the light, remember? The dark and the light, the dark and the light. There's always the yin and the yang. So you might have to do a lot to strengthen your pelvic floor after you've had a baby, and orgasms are so much better. See, it feels appropriate that I'm recording this in the bedroom now and talking about orgasms. Because isn't it just lovely here? I love it. Orgasms are better once you've had a kid, and we can use them in labour. We can touch ourselves, and that's where I'm getting with this. And I'm still slightly nervous about talking about it, which I don't understand. Why is it okay for someone else to put their hands inside you, their fingers inside you, when you're in labour? Why is that okay? It's really weird. Think about it. Why can't you just do it to yourself? Really? Why can't you just do it to yourself? You know, it's bizarre. I'm going to take you through to the living room. I'm speaking a little bit quietly because I don't know. Here's the living room. Absolutely fabulous. Look at the antlers. You see the antlers? Orgasms, sex, our vaginas, other people touching us when we're in labour. You're responsible for it. You can choose what happens. And in my so I've had 3 babies. In my birth with Meg and my birth with Beatrice, I touched myself. I felt inside. I was euphoric when I felt like the bulging bag of waters. I was like, yes! You know, or I felt Meg's head coming down. And that way I was able to know, as well as the intensity of my surges, the power of the expulsive surges coming. That way I could know and not need to ask somebody else, how am I progressing? You know, what's my body doing? Do you see where I'm getting with this? And I no qualms in talking about touching yourself. That's nice. A good thing to do. And if it's your first kid, make the most of it, because it's hard to find the time when the kids are here. So yeah, I'm going to pause there. I've got to get back to writing, but I just felt like I needed to get this said to you. Thanks for watching. I'm going to stick this on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. And if you are on Facebook, give me a like and let me know whether you feel heard and listened to. And if you are watching this on the gram, on Instagram, please share it. I'm going to pause there. Thanks for watching.